been so far?
You know, I'll tell you, I've been really proud of the group we've got. We've got 7 guys, so we've got a lot of depth, and we've got a lot of quality depth. And we got 7 guys right now that are working really hard. You know, obviously trying to master coach's system. And you know, we as a tight end, you're a hybrid player. You're very involved in the run game. You're involved in the pass game. You're involved in protections, and so it's a lot to learn. And but you know what? They're doing a good job. The thing that I've been probably most proud of with this group is their willingness to learn, their attention to detail, how physical they're trying to play right now. And we've got some guys that are really trying to play physical. And hopefully that will separate us and make us a group that will help our football team.
Obviously, games will dictate this more than anything, but based on Moorhead's pass and how he likes to get the tight ends involved in the passing game, I'm sure that's something that kind of opens their eyes a good bit. But how is that transition going? Because these guys have normally been blockers the past 3 or 4 years.
Well, I think they're excited about this system. I mean, if you go back and look at coaches' offenses at Penn State and before at Fordham, the tight ends were a big part of the system, not just in the run game, but in the passing game, and especially trying to stretch the team vertically down the field too. So you know we've got some guys that have some speed, and we've leaned up our tight ends too. So we've asked those guys to lose some weight a little bit. That's helped them become better route runners, increased their speed, and they've taken on that challenge. And I think we're a much leaner team. Strong, fast, and they're getting better each day.
With so many of them out there, is it difficult for you to manage their reps during practice?
Yeah, it is, you know, because we've got so many good guys, so many quality guys, but at the end of the day, we only play one. You know, we're typically going to be an 11 personnel team for the most part. We'll still do some other packages, but, you know, we definitely want to get these guys reps, but it's hard when you have 7, and then obviously you got the ones, and you have the 2 group and the 3 group, and they're all getting their opportunity. So you got to make the most of your opportunity when you get it, because those opportunities are a little few in between when you're rotating 7 guys. And here, after Saturday, after our last scrimmage, obviously those rotations some guys will increase and some will decrease, because we'll start to get into game mode then, and some guys will be asked to go to the scout team at that point. And then obviously we'll probably keep up 4 guys to rep and practice each day, and when 3 probably will be asked to go to the scout team.
How is that battle between Farad and Justin right now?
It's very competitive. Both those guys are very competitive guys. I think they're neck and neck. I'll say Justin has had a really good camp. He came out of the chutes extremely well and really was ahead early, and he's leaned his body up. He's faster. I think the surgery he had helped him, so I think he's healthier. And he got off to a quick start, making some plays, and then Farad has really come on in the last few days also. And so I really like those 2 guys. I think they're 2 guys that we definitely can count on, that we can win with. Dante Jones, if he could be a little more consistent, then he could be a guy that could play and can play a lot, because he can stretch the field, and he's long, he's athletic. And then you got another group of guys behind them with Powers Warren. And then you got 2 talented freshmen who I think in the future are going to be exceptional players, and one of them may end up playing some this year, between Brad Cumbus and Jaquarius Spivey. And so both those guys are doing really good. And we got Christian Roberson too, working hard. So we got a lot of depth.
From a physical standpoint, when you look at Spivey and Cumbus, I mean, you can tell they're kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to normal high school guys coming into it.
Yeah, they're different now. You know, they look like juniors out there in their pads, and they're big, they're physical. I'm gonna tell you, they play very physical too, and they've both got very good ball skills. And like I said, I think one of them, I'd like to play one of them this year, since they're both in the same class, and we'll sort of see how that unfolds in the future. But we've got a lot of quality players at this position, I think, for the future too. So I'm really excited about it.
How important is this camp and this year just for guys like Dante and Christian and even Powers that just you didn't really get to play a whole lot last year?
Yeah, you know, Powers is still young. He's still a redshirt freshman. This is still his 2nd year, and so he's trying to get better. He's competing, and he's working really hard. He worked really hard this summer, and he came back and has had a much better camp. And I think that's due to his hard work. And Christian, you know, he's going in his 3rd year, and this is a year where, you know, he's got to, you know, pick it up, I think, a little bit and try to push a little bit for some playing time. But because the 2 freshmen that we just brought in are going to really be pushing some guys for playing time in the future, without a doubt. But I think Dante Jones, getting back to him, is a guy that that can be in that rotation this year if he continues developing each day and can be more consistent.
How much of a weight is a factor with him? Because I noticed he got down to about 230 last year, and now he looks like a little bit bigger than 230.
Yeah, he's probably about 235. He's about right where I like him right now. I think all our guys right now are right where I want them to be weight-wise. Camp, they've been fluctuating a little bit with the heat, but I like where they're at right now. And we want to be fast. We want to be more. If we're going to be more effective in the passing game, we can't be the big neck roll linebackers of the past. And we've got to be athletic, and we got to be able to run.
Between Farad and Justin, which one of those guys have you seen sort of take on more of the leadership role?
Well, I think without a doubt the leader of the group and one of the leaders of the team is Justin. He has been a very strong leader, vocal leader, not just setting the example. Some guys they don't speak a lot, but they might just set the example by their work. Justin does it both. Not only setting the example by the way he works, by the way he prepares, but he's a vocal leader, and he is always on our guys in the room. He's making sure they're in the building at the right time, always sending out a group text reminder to the guys, not afraid to speak his mind. So I've been real pleased with his leadership. And then Farad's shown some leadership too. So I think we've got a really, really good room.
How does this offense kind of play to Justin's strength, kind of being a former wide receiver and maybe even Dante as well?
Yeah, I think it really plays to both of their strengths because they're athletic guys. They can catch the ball, and they're going to probably err on the side of they're going to be a little better route runners than probably are at the point of attack. Where Farad is probably a little better at the point of attack than in the route running. So all three have their strengths, and they can do both. Don't get me wrong, but they all bring something to the table, and that's what I like about them. And on top of that, they have great attitudes, and they're working hard. They got great work ethic, and I think they're the right kind of people and the right type of guys for Mississippi State.